When my sister asked if she could stay with me for just a month, I didn't hesitate. I should have. But guilt is a powerful thing, and she knew exactly how to use it. My name is Hannah. I'm 32, married, no kids yet. My husband Mark and I had just bought our first house 6 months earlier. It wasn't huge, but it was ours. Quiet neighborhood, clean start, stability. My younger sister, Chloe, had always been chaos. Not evil, not cruel, just chaos. She moved from job to job, relationship to relationship, city to city. When her fiancé called off their wedding 3 weeks before the ceremony, she called me sobbing. "I have nowhere to go," she said. That wasn't true. She had friends. She had savings. But what she meant was, I need someone to feel sorry for me, and I always did. Mark wasn't thrilled about her moving in. He didn't argue. He just said, 1 month, that's it. I promised him it would be temporary. Chloe arrived with 6 suitcases and red eyes. The first week, she barely left the guest room. I cooked for her, sat with her, let her cry. She talked about betrayal, about how her fiancé changed, how he became distant, cold, accusatory. I listened. I believed her. I always believed her. By week 2, she was different. Louder, brighter, posting selfies again, going out at night, bringing new energy into the house. Mark became quieter. I noticed it before I admitted it. He stopped lingering in the kitchen when she was there, stopped joking, stopped sitting on the couch if she was already in the room. I assumed he was just uncomfortable. Chloe has a big personality. She flirts without meaning to. At least that's what I told myself. Then one evening I walked into the living room and the air felt wrong. Not dramatic, not explosive, just wrong. Chloe was laughing, Mark wasn't. He looked tense. When I entered, Chloe smiled too wide. "We were just talking about you," she said. Something about the way she said it made my stomach tighten. "About what?" I asked. "About how lucky he is," she replied lightly. Mark didn't look at me. That night in bed, he said, "How long is she staying?" "It's only been 2 weeks. Doubt is subtle. It whispers." The first argument we had in months happened over dishes. It escalated faster than it should have. Later that night, Chloe knocked on our bedroom door. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. She looked concerned, protective, like she was on my side. That's when the dynamic shifted. She wasn't the guest anymore. She was the mediator, the observer, the emotional translator. And I didn't notice the shift until it was too late. One Saturday, I came home early from work. Chloe's car was in the driveway. Mark's was too. I walked in quietly. I heard voices in the kitchen. Not raised, not romantic, just intense. I froze when I heard my name. "She's already insecure," Chloe said softly. My heart pounded. Mark responded, but I couldn't hear the words. I stepped forward and the conversation stopped. When they saw me, both of them looked startled, too startled. "We were just talking," Chloe said quickly. "About what?" I asked. Mark opened his mouth, but Chloe answered first. "About how stressed you've been." I looked at him. He nodded slowly. It didn't feel right. That night, I asked Mark directly, "Do you think I'm insecure?" He looked confused. "What?" "Chloe said you mentioned it." Silence. Long silence. "I never said that," he replied. I felt something crack inside me. Not trust. Not yet. Just reality. The next week was worse. Chloe became softer with me, more affectionate. She'd hug me randomly, tell me she loved me, tell me she'd never let a man manipulate me the way hers did. Meanwhile, small misunderstandings between me and Mark multiplied. A text left unread, a tone misinterpreted, a conversation misremembered. Every time tension rose, Chloe was nearby, watching, absorbing. One night, everything collapsed. Mark walked into the bedroom holding his phone. His face was pale. "Why is Chloe texting me at midnight?" he asked. My throat went dry. He handed me the phone. The message read, "I don't think she understands you the way I do." I felt the room spin. "I didn't know," I whispered. He looked at me like he was searching for something. "Hannah, this isn't normal." That's when the pieces finally aligned. The fiancé who changed. The accusations, the emotional mediation, the subtle triangulation. Chloe didn't lose her relationship. She destabilized it. And now she was doing it again. I confronted her the next morning. She didn't deny it. She didn't cry. She smiled. "I just didn't want you to end up alone like me," she said calmly. "So you tried to ruin my marriage?" I asked. She tilted her head. "If it's that easy to ruin, maybe it wasn't strong." That was the moment I understood. Chloe didn't need love. She needed control. She needed to be the emotional gravity in every room, and stability threatened her. Mark asked her to leave that night. She packed slowly, deliberately. At the door, she hugged me. "Call me when you realize I was right," she whispered. The house felt silent after she left. Not heavy, just honest. Mark and I sat in the kitchen for a long time. "We almost let her in between us," he said quietly. I nodded. We did let her. Healing wasn't instant. Trust had been shaken. But over time, we rebuilt. And sometimes I still think about how quietly someone can enter your life and try to rewrite it from the inside. For a few days after Chloe left, the house felt strange. Not peaceful exactly, just empty in a way that made us notice how loud things had been before. The silence wasn't uncomfortable at first. It was relief. But relief slowly turned into reflection. Mark and I started talking more openly than we had in months, not because we suddenly trusted each other more, but because we were forced to confront how easily we had allowed a third voice into our relationship. One evening, Mark asked me something I wasn't prepared for. "Do you think she planned it from the beginning?" I didn't answer immediately, because I didn't know. Chloe had always been emotional, dramatic. But what if that wasn't chaos? What if it was strategy disguised as instability? The more I replayed events in my mind, the more certain moments started to feel intentional. The compliments, the private conversations, the subtle comparisons. She never accused directly. She didn't have to. She just had to suggest. A week later, something unexpected happened. I received a message from an unknown number. It was a screenshot. It showed a private conversation between Chloe and someone named E. The messages were short but revealing. "I'm not done yet. They think they won. I just needed access." Access. My hands started shaking. I showed Mark immediately. He read the messages slowly, his expression tightening. "Who is E?" he asked. We didn't know, but we suspected it wasn't random. The next day, Chloe posted a new video. This time she wasn't crying. She wasn't accusing. She was calm. She said she had learned a lot about manipulation. She said she was taking legal steps. She implied that people had tried to silence her. She never named us, but the comments filled in the gaps. And then something happened that we didn't expect. Her engagement began to rise rapidly. Not sympathy comments, but curiosity. People started asking for proof, asking for timelines, asking why no police report existed, and suddenly her narrative wasn't unquestioned anymore. Mark suggested something I hadn't considered. "What if she doesn't want peace?" he said. "What if she wants attention?" It sounded simple, but it explained everything. We contacted a lawyer just to understand our options, not to attack her, but to protect ourselves. The attorney reviewed the voice recordings, the edited clips, and the messages. After an hour of silence, he leaned back and said something that surprised me. "This looks like emotional triangulation." He explained the pattern. The insertion of doubt, the creation of tension between two people, the gradual repositioning of herself as the central figure in every emotional exchange. "She doesn't need to win arguments," he said. "She needs to control the environment." That sentence stayed with me. Control the environment. Over the next 2 weeks, we noticed something new. Chloe wasn't escalating publicly anymore. Instead, she was rebuilding quietly. New content, new tone. She shifted from victimhood to empowerment, from tears to strength. And strangely, it worked. Her follower count climbed again. Mark and I agreed to stop engaging completely. No responses, no comments, no reactions.